Good afternoon to all. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to solve the introduction to Internet of Things, week 7, assignment 7, which last date is 12 March 2025. So, in week 7, assignment 7, for introduction to Internet of Things, you will get 15 questions and you will try to attempt the 15 question one by one. So, let's start the question here. You can see, guys, in week 7, assignment 7, introduction to Internet of Things, 15 questions are there. Okay, we'll try to attempt the 15 questions one by one. Let's start the first question here. The first question in Python socket programming. While defining a socket stream refers to a type of dash. It is a socket type. It is a socket type. Why we consider it as a socket type? Because in Python, socket, a module socket is defining using socket family type proto. Socket stream is a constant that specifies the socket type, indicating a connection-oriented, reliable stream-based protocol that is type of transmission control protocols. Socket family, that is FINT, defines the address family, not a type, not the type. And a socket family defines the address family, not a type. Socket name and socket protocol. Okay, socket name and socket protocol are not standard terms in this context. The latter might relate the protocol numbers, that is 0 for IP, but socket stem is a type, especially a type. So socket type we consider, you can choose the option 1, option B. Moving to the question number 2, if you want to change the label of y-axis while plotting a graph using Matplotlib in Python, what among the following functions do you use? We use plot.y label. Two option C. plt.y label. Why we choose that options? Options, that is option C. Two option C. Why you choose that options? See, in matplotlib dot pilot commonly imported as plt. plt dot show display the plot but doesn't modify the labels. plt.plot creates the plot but does not set axis labels. plt.ylabel sets the label for y-axis. Okay, plot.ylabel y-axis labels, but plot.y-axis is not a valid function. So last one is not a valid functions. So plot.axis exists but setting axis limits, not labels. Thus, the option C we consider is the right answer. Moving to the question number 3. In socket programming, the parameter AFINAT stands for ANIF stands for Internet Protocols. 3 option B. 3 option B, Internet Protocol, because see, AFINT is a is a constant in Python's socket module representing the address of the family for IPv4, that is Internet Protocol version 4. It is used to specify that the socket will use IP-based communication over a network. The first one is AF Unix. AF Unix, AFINET is for Unix domain socket, local interprocess communication. What about option C? File sharing is unrelated to AFINET. What about option D? Time slicing is a scheduling concept, not a socket parameter. But in case of a option B, Internet protocols, that is, if you say stands for AFINET is a constant Python socket model presenting the address family of the IP. Okay, that's why we choose option 3, option B. Moving to the question number 4. Suppose a Python server is receiving data from a socket as follows. Okay, what kind of sockets being considered? What kind of sockets? The socket is a kind of UDP, user defined protocol socket. Okay, 4 option B. 4 options B. In Python programming, Receive from buffer size is typically used for UDP sockets. Socket underscore DG RAM, returning both the data and the sender address. So TCP sockets, if you see TCP sockets, socket stream use review buffer size instead of they are connection oriented but do not need sender's address. It is already known from the connections. What about option C? Tab sockets are virtual network interface, not a socket type in this context. So option D is an incorrect as UDP fits the descriptions. So the correct option is option B, UDP socket. Okay. Moving to the question number 5. What is the use of MobiFlow protocol? MobiFlow protocol means it enables the SDN to incorporate mobility. To incorporate mobility. So MobiFlow is a type of protocols, or you can say concept related to software-defined network designed to handle mobility in a network, such as IoT or mobile devices scenarios. In extent, SDN centralized control to manage dynamic changes. Okay, but what happened? Option A, enabling static SDN. Static SDN contradicts mobility. Option C, enabling Odin master means Odin master is a specific SDN framework for wireless network, but MobiFlow is a border. BGP, border gateway protocol. The option B, enabling traditional BGP. BGP means border gateway protocol is a traditional routing protocol only related to MobiFlow. So you can choose the option enabling SDN to incorporate mobility, option B. Moving to the question number 6. During the remote server access using the socket programming, what is the utility of the socket name dot listen functions? That is to wait for the client connects. It is especially to wait for the client connect. We can also describe what are the other options. Okay. To wait for the client connect. 6 option C. In Python socket programming for a server, socket name dot listen blockade is used after blind to start listening for incoming clients connections. The backlog parameters specify the maximum number of queued connections. Then what about option A? Option A creates a socket, not listen. What about option B? Option B assign an address, that is blind functions. Assign an address or port to the socket, not listen. What about option D? Close means terminate the socket, not to listen. To listen, we can choose to wait for the client connections. Okay. So that's why the correct option goes to option C, question number 6. Moving to the question number 7. Which among the following is the correct directions for packet out type message in SDN? It is from the controller to switch. From the controller to switch, 7, option A. In software defined network, as using protocol like packet out message are sent from the controller to switch. From the controller to switch, they instruct the switch to forward a packet when the switch does not have a matching flow rules and sends the packet into a controller, which responds with packet out. Okay. But what about option B and C and D? Option B indicates packet in goes from switch to controller, not packet out. What about option C and D? Switches and controller do not communicate directly with each other in this manner for the packet out. So we choose from the controller to switch, that is option A. Okay, 7 option A. Moving to the question number 8. Which among the following is a limitation of a traditional non-SDN network? Traditional non-SDN network. Traditional non-SDN network that belongs to Swiss switches do not have a global view of the network. Okay, not a global view of the network. In traditional non-SDN network, okay, 8. We're choosing question number 8. What happened in traditional non-SDN network? switches may not have routing tables, but layer 2 switches have MAC tables. So this is not a universal limitation. Moving to the question, option number B. Option number B. Switches are unable to forward traffic. Switches can forward traffic based on MAC address. So it is a false. So option C is true because traditional switches operates independently with the local knowledge, that is MAC tables or routing tables, lacking a centralized global network view like SDN, where the controller has this visibility. But what about option D? All of the given, not all options are correct. So this is invalid statements. So in 8, we choose the option switches do not have a global view of the network. Moving to the question number 9. During the remote server access by a Raspberry Pi, where the Raspberry Pi acts as a client, the client needs the following. That is both the server IP address and the port number. Both the server IP address and the port number. Because a client, that is we consider Raspberry Pi in socket programming, needs what it needs. It needs the server's IP address to locate the server on the network. And the port number identify the specific service progress on the server. But what about option A and B? Either alone is insufficient to establish a connection. And what about option D? Client IP address means the client IP address is not required explicitly for connecting a server. It is handled by the operating system or network stacks. Okay. So we choose the option C, both the server IP address and port number is required. Now moving to the question number 10. With respect to the concept of soft timing out and hard timing in software-defined network switches, which of the following relation holds? Relation hold means hard timeout equal to or greater than equal to soft timeout. 10 option B. Hard timeout is greater than equal to soft timeout. What happened in SDN, that is open flow, soft timeout means the duration after which a flow entry is removed if no matching packets are received, that is idle time. What is hard timeout? The absolute duration after which a flow is entry is removed, regardless of activity. So typically, hard timeout is greater than equal to soft timeout because the hard timeout is maximum lifespan, while the soft timeout depends on the inactivity and can trigger earlier. What about the other options? That is option A, C, and D. Option A is incorrect. Why? As a soft timeout is usually shorter. What about option C? Option C, they are not always equal. They serve different purposes. What about option D? Option D is incorrect as B holds. So option B, we choose the right answer. That is hard timeout is greater than equal to soft timeout. Moving to the question number 11. Moving to the question number 11. Which of the following is true? Traditional network routing table, software defined network routing table. I'm saying that here traditional network routing table, software defined network flow table. Why we choose 11 option C? 11 option C, traditional network routing table, software defined network flow table is the correct answer, because in C, in traditional network, devices like routers are routing tables to determine the packets forwarding based on the destination IP address computed by distributed protocol, that is OSPF, BGP. Switches uses MAC tables at layer 2, but routing implies layer 3 tables. In software defining network, switches use flow table managed by a centralized controller via open flow. Flow tables contains rules for packet handling, matches field and actions, distinction from the traditional routing tables. So, except from option C, what about option A, B, and D? Option A is incorrect. Why? SDN does not rely on routing table in switches. Option B is also incorrect because traditional network do not use the flow table. That is an SDN concept. And option D is also incorrect because traditional network do not use flow tables. So only you can choose option C, traditional network routing table, software defined network and flow table. Okay. Moving to the question number 12. A table is given. Consider the following figure flow to which issue SDN dots a particular figure can be related to. Okay. Out of the four options, we may choose the best option, that is flow rule placement issue. 12 option B. 12 option B. 12 option B. That is, you can choose 12 option B. Just a minute. You can choose, yeah, 12 option B, flow rule placement issue. Flow rule placement issue. Yes. Why you choose that thing? Because this figure shows a flow table with different priorities and instructions, which is related to the placement and management to flow rule in software defining networks. That's why I choose flow rule placement issues. Moving to the question number 13. With respect to the directional application programming interface in SDN, what is the functionality of east-west bound APIs? The main functionality is to communicate among the multiple controllers. 13 option B. 13 option B, to communicate among the multiple controllers. You see, east-west API are used for communication between multiple SDN controller, enabling coordinating or coordinations and information sharing across different network domains. That's why to communicate among the multiple controllers is the right answer. 13 option B. Moving to the question number 14. Hierarchical SDN architects or architecture is also known as dash architecture. Hierarchical means it is a tree type architecture. 14 option A. 14 option A. Hierarchical SDN architecture is often referred to the tree architecture, where controllers are organized in hierarchical manner. That's why you choose A, tree, known as tree architecture. Moving to the question number 15. Integrating SDN with IoT is not recommended and not suitable to approach which of the follow. It is a false statement. You can say it is a false statement. Integrating SDN with IoT is recommended as it provides dynamic, flexible network management which is beneficial for IoT applications. So 15 option A will be the right answer. Okay, now we are going to submit the answer. You can see, guys, thanks for your taking the week 7 assignment 7. Your answers are successfully submitted. Once again, we will try to verify the answer. Question number 1B, question number 2, C, question number 3, B, question number 4B, question number 5B, question number 6, you can say C, question number 7A, question number 8C, question number 9C, question number 10, B, question number 11, you can choose C, question number 12B, question number 13 also B, question number 14A and question number 15. We explain bit by bit questions. Okay, guys. Furthermore, if you have any questions, you may put the questions or put your suggestion feedback in my comment box. You are most welcome. And if you like this video, if you feel that video is informative to you, you can subscribe and you can share with your friends so the other people can get some knowledge. Okay, thank you for